All right. Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. I am so excited to bring to you this morning our presenter because they're doing something super cool. I don't often talk about the brokerage that I'm with. It is Epic Realty, but Epic has some really special programs that we use, and I actually connected with the founder of one of the companies that we use to do some cash buyer programs and things like that. And they created this really cool app just for us, for all of us in here in the group. It's super cool, and I can't wait to show it to you. So, Doug, where are you?
I'm here. I think
Excellent.
I'm okay. I'm not on mute. That's a good start.
So, you guys, this is Doug Adams. He is the co-founder. And Doug, I'm going to highlight you, and you are a co-host, so you can share your screen and show everyone. But just kind of tell us, tell everyone why I'm so excited about what you guys have built.
And you mentioned Epic Realty. So we built a platform for Epic Realty. It's known as Click Offers. We've had it for it started off as Wise Guide was our brand name, and then we branded it as Click Offers for Epic. And for the past actually 6 months, though, we've been working on a major upgrade to the system. We've I don't know if anybody's heard of a company called Gamma. It's was recently named by Forbes as the next billion-dollar business. We've got an integration with them to really help present these tools and unlocked a lot of interesting use cases. We've also reworked a lot of things. We have not actually released this as to click offers yet. We'll be doing that next week, but y'all are actually the first people to see this. I'm going to add something in the chat here. This is a invite to a Slack group specifically for Agent Impact Group, specifically for this platform. This is Agent Impact Group's version of this platform. This is for everybody to use. It's not brokerage specific. And I'm gonna, do some, basically kind of a run through some of the content we are creating. Like I said, y'all are the first people to see this, so it's not 100% complete yet. But we're going to be making those announcements as things are complete. We want some feedback, of course, with anything new. There's going to be some bugs, but I'll run through everything for you and kind of start at the beginning for anyone who is not familiar with what we do. I'm going to share my screen and, okay, so everybody can see this. This is the Agent Impact Group screen. This is agentimpactgroup.net. I could probably add that in the chat, but this is where you would go to get access to your platform, agentimpactgroup.net. This is the homepage. Now, right here, this is where if a consumer comes to this page, they can enter some information. We won't touch much on that today. It has that capability. What you're interested in is this agent login. I mean, real quick though, I'm going to scroll down. This kind of explains the main points of the platform. We have some cash offer options. We have some buy before you sell options. We have some fix and flip options where you do home repairs and the people don't pay until closing. They pay out of their equity, increases the value of their home. They get more for it. We're basically trying to find all the solutions that you might need to help get some deals done. We aren't aggregating every solution out there. We're trying to find the best of the best, put those programs in one spot for y'all to compare and make it easy for you to understand and easy for you to present to your clients. Basically, if they use them, great. If not, we want to keep the clients engaged with you so that they're not going to other sources, finding these solutions, getting sent off to, other referral agents. We're trying to give you all the answers you need in one place and make it easy and comfortable for you to explain it. Agent login, all you have to do, come here to create your account. I already, of course, have an account. So I'm just going to go ahead and sign in. So the first time you sign into this account, there'll be a banner up top that's going to ask you to put in a brokerage code. This group's brokerage code is Impact, IMPACT. It's all lowercase, real simple. Once you impact or you input your brokerage code, that ties you in. It unlocks all these features for you. And I'll kind of go through them, but what I want to do is I just want to give you like an overview of all these features today, because I don't want to throw too much information at you. Again, that's why we're going to have the Slack group. There's different channels in there. There's some channels to discuss some of the programs directly. There's some channels to discuss some of the features, some of the strategies. That's where we kind of want to get into the nitty gritty, and we are more than happy to have private one-on-ones about any subjects. We can do groups, we can do teams. Just let us know. But this is here for you to use because you're part of this group. The first things you're going to want to do is you're going to want to set up your profile. Now, again, not to overwhelm you, when you come in here, it's going to ask you for your headshot. There's some gamma related things. Again, we'll make those make sense to you. That we have an onboarding video that'll take you step by step through these. You can include an agent bio. I'll show you where that kind of comes into play. Your social media links. You can upload your brokerage logo, default commission amounts. That I'll show you where that comes into play. Always save your changes. If you have client review links, you can include those. And then this is where you're everybody has their own web page. And again, we'll have an onboarding video to take you through how to build this out. There's going to be some default sections, but it's going to look very much like the main agent impact page, except it's going to be branded to you. It's going to have your logos. It's going to have your face. That's going to be your page that you can send out to get consumers to look for some of these options, for instant valuations, for any of these features that you want to use it for, because this is really a multi-purpose platform. We know in real estate, y'all are getting all kinds of platforms thrown at you. AI is just, it's creating more noise. We're trying to put all this in one area so you can have these tools for seller options, different programs, so you can have a place to create, instant content for social media. So you can have a web page or a landing page that you can use to promote, that you can do some lead gen, and that you can actually build presentations. Now, to start off, the real simple version, to get these options, to get all these different options, you click add property. It's real easy. You answer a few questions, address. You can call this, lead, anything you'd like. And you're going to get an instant valuation. Now, this is great to use if you don't know anything about the property, because I mean, you can do this to just, if I'm sitting next to somebody at a restaurant and start talking about this, I don't know anything about their house, I can show them these options instantly. So I can use this AVM. If I click here, it fills in the market value. But as an agent, maybe I have a little bit better idea of what this house is worth, so I can enter my own. The mortgage balance, this will actually pre-populate for you. I need to turn that feature on. But if you have a good idea about the mortgage balance, a lot of these programs are equity-based, so you want to input that. A couple more questions. Are there any repairs or upgrades that are needed, or that could just be done to improve the price of the house? I'm going to input my estimate for those repairs and what I think, that might make the house worth. I mean, maybe I think, okay, if we redid the kitchen, it's going to cost me, well, it wouldn't be 50,000 if I know the right contractors, but it's going to make my house worth a lot more. And then one final question to get a few more options. Are they buying another house? And what price range are they looking in? As soon as I hit create net sheet, it's going to take just a couple of seconds, and it's going to pull up all of these options. And I'm going to break them down real quick. But I want to point out, agents are involved in all these options. You get the listing, you keep the listing, it's your sign in the yard, and you're going to be the one selling the house to the final buyer. You're making your full commission, whatever it is you've negotiated with your seller, but every one of these options involves you as the agent staying involved. The top two are cash offer options. These next two are buy before you sell options. And like I said, we always include your listing proposal. And then this last one is basically a fix and list through a company called House App. That's where, if you, like I mentioned, you do the repairs, you increase the value of the house, and then you get more for the house upon selling it. This is the agent view of all this information. The net to seller is always, expressed so they can see what they're going to net with each one of these options. Now, obviously, if you increase the value of the house, that's probably going to be the highest net to seller. But, if you're selling a relatively new house, that might not be an option. And if you don't input any repairs or don't input a higher value, that just won't show up. Also, if you have a seller who's not planning on buying another house, and these buy before you sell options, that's not going to be relevant. So you can just come to next steps and you can delete those. You can clear those off, because what we're doing is we're building some presentation options that you can show your clients. Excuse me. And jumping to that, well, first, I'll just mention the cost for every option is broken out. And again, we'll go through each one of these options. We can go through them at another time in more detail. The product details, short little blurb. Also, some collateral information is linked here if you want to use it. And then the next steps, if you want to proceed in the next steps or delete the offer, that's always available. You can add your own options. If you click add more options, you can use a custom offer. You can name this whatever you want. I mean, if you go get an offer from Open Door, you can add that. If you have your own investors, you can add that. Whatever, if you want to make an offer on the house, whatever options you have, you can add those. You can add any of these options again and input a different market value. So you could see a best case or worst case scenario. So this is however you want to build your presentation. Now, traditionally, the way we're presenting these offers is you can click the share button and it copies this link. And I'll just go ahead and hit preview. This is the version that clients are seeing, and this is the version that agents use for a presentation. There it is. So this has, again, it's branded for you. This has all the options that you've included. Any that you've removed won't be shown. It updates in real time. They have access to all the information you do. They cannot accept this offer without, they have to go through you. And you'll notice here, we're not calling out the names of the companies that back these offers. These first two are backed by Zoomkasa. These next two are backed by Fly Homes. Obviously, your listing presentation is based on you. Now, House Amp, we have their name here, but they still have to go through you to access that. We are focused again on the programs, on these solutions, not the name of the company. We're trying to find the best options out there. The reason we have Fly Homes backing these options is they're available in just about every state, and their fees are way better than comparable programs like HomeLight or not. Zoomkasa, they're in all 50 states. It's a very similar cash offer situation to a company called Homeward. Homeward just has limited reach. Open Door has actually started doing these sorts of cash offers, but they only work with select agents. Zoomkasa works with you, and they're anxious to work with you. So we're trying to find the best of the best, so you have the solutions to compare. You also have, and I skipped over the profile link. This is another feature. You can go in here into your Agent Impact Group platform, and you can add all your services. This basically serves like a link tree, but it's called a bio link. And you can literally click through all your services, basically just like a PowerPoint. So you can do a whole presentation based on this net sheet. And that's what a lot of agents have been doing. That being said, some people are still a little intimidated by all the numbers. Some people are a little intimidated by, just having not that comfort level with explaining a little bit more detail. So that is where, sorry, let me pull this up. That is where our new Gamma integration has come in. So what Gamma is, if for anybody who's not familiar, it's a instant presentation generation platform. It makes PowerPoints, pitch decks, presentations instantly. It is AI. They're always original. They're always unique. And what we've done is we have an integration right below the net sheet. So you can select, you can, opt to make a seller or a listing presentation. You can opt to make a short seller options presentation. All you do, you make your selection. These are the defaults I've set in my profile. There's any number of templates available. Illustration style, you can actually select none, you can select illustration, you can select realistic, whatever you prefer. I think the illustrations look good. And again, not to get overwhelmed, we're going to go through all this. We're going to have onboarding and trainings. But when I generate a presentation, it takes about a minute, and then I get my link right here. So now I can view my link or I can share my link. I'm just going to view this one. These are the seller options that I just built. This is going to be a shorter version of a presentation. If you're doing lead gen and a lead goes through your page and they provide the property information, this is what they're going to get. And then you're going to be notified that you have a lead, and then you're going to be able to reach out to them. Again, every one of them is going to be unique to that property. The values are going to be based on that house. So no two are ever going to look alike. Now they might look similar, but they're never going to look alike. So this is something that your leads will get. Like I said, it takes about a minute to get, compares all the options. It has links to your services. It has links to your lender. It has a link to the net sheet. I did not include that on this one, but basically it's just a cleaner presentation. So some people respond more to, this sort of thing. Some people are more into math and numbers. And when you get to that point, then they can access the net sheet. When a lead comes in, they have the option to look at just the net sheet, or they have an option to see this. Now, to do the gamma, that's the one thing that there is an upgrade charge for. Let me go back. And for the Agent Impact Group, that's only $10 a month. So it's not a significant amount of money. And I will go over what all that gets you. The rest of it is totally free. The net sheet, the domain, the landing pages, the bio link, all of that is free. It integrates with your CRMs. So it has a lot of useful resources. But for Gamma, this is what this is going to allow us to do. Some of this is coming soon. This is in the Gamma AI section over here in the sidebar. But we also have links to a lot of this as well. These are example links. I went over the seller and buyer presentations, the listing presentations, offer highlights. By next week, you'll be able to upload a contract, and it'll present a short presentation based on the highlights of that offer with a link to that contract. Automated marketing and lead generation. By next week, this stuff will be available. It's instant generations that are basically content for your social media, for your Instagram, for your LinkedIn. And it's going to be based on information we're getting from APIs, and I'll preview this. We're pulling data from all of these sources: Re-API, Foursquare, Fred, NPS, SERP API, Newscatcher, and then even ChatGPT, just to strengthen the language of it. All this content is basically going to be, what's going on in your area? What does the market look like in your area? What events are going on this weekend? What events are going on this month? All kinds of content that'll be posted in multiple places for different purposes. There's going to be nurture, which is going to be for leads. Let me go back up here. Well, let me start in order. Lead generation. Like I said, that's going to include market snapshots, events, neighborhood spotlights, and points of interest, homeowners tips and trends. All this data is going to be turned into instantly postable, and it's going to be automated. So you can send it to your Facebook, you can send it to Instagram, you can send it to LinkedIn. We're going to be adding some other sources too and other formats. That's going to be for lead gen. It's going to have your links. Some of it will be based on some of these seller option programs, cash offers, buy before you sell. Well, they'll be able to come in and fill this information out, branded to you, original content. It's not cookie cutter. It's all AI generated through the Gamma automation. And then that also includes the lead nurture content. That's going to be for, as leads come in, you can turn them on to a lead nurture, and they're going to start receiving some of this content via text, via email, basically engaging content that you'll be able to keep in touch. One of the main ones that we've developed is, and I'll just pull up this example real quick, an updated valuation, a monthly valuation. So after that first time they come in, they get their instant valuation. They're also going to see how that changes. Sorry, I'm in an office. I think my Wi-Fi isn't the greatest. There it is. So they're going to get an updated home value report. And my format looks a little different because I am connected to my Gamma account. Sorry, that's the old one. Well, wouldn't
So
be
while
present.
you're doing that, a lot of people have commented in the chat that they are not able to set up an account. And I did tell them that you guys were working on this right up until the minute we started the call. So
Right.
just
Yeah,
make sure
y'all.
that you guys save that link and it will be up and running. I had already created my account, so I'm not having any problem getting in, but anyhow.
Yeah, literally just push some updates, but and I'll go back to that towards the end. So this is an example of a home value report. I don't know if anybody's familiar with HomeBot. It gets really high engagement. It lets homeowners know as their property values change. The first report that they get, we go 3 months back in history. So to make sense, when a lead comes in, they're going to get their initial valuation. They're going to get their initial option estimates. And then the next month, it will start sending them these updates. If you turn it on, you don't have to turn it on for these leads. You can select for it to be automatic, or you can just turn it on per lead. You'll also be able to upload a CSV file. So if you have a whole bunch of past leads, then you'll be able to put them on these kind of nurture campaigns. So this is going to trace the value of their house. We go back 3 months. So even that first report they get has, a little bit more robust detail so they can see how their home value has been changing. It talks about, other things they can do with their home equity, and we're going to add some other metrics to it as well. But again, always branded around you, includes a detailed net sheet, agent services, which links to your bio link, and get pre-qualified if you have a lender you're working with. You can include that there as well. And just to reassure everybody, we will go over this many, many times, so y'all don't have to worry about getting lost. So that's kind of there's going to be other nurture leads. A fourth thing we're going to add is going to be I would refer to it as recruitment and business outreach. We're going to build out these other things and complete this in the next couple of weeks before we touch this. This would be, I think, useful to agents who want to, reach out to other agents, get them to join their brokerage, get them to join Agent Impact Group, get them to join, if a lender, I know there's lenders in these groups, if they want to do, outreach to agents, there's going to be content that they can provide as well. Again, this is the APIs we are using. Like I mentioned, for the Gamma upgrades and all these features, it's only $10 a month. You do not need a separate Gamma account. If you have one, there is a place where we can connect to your API key, so you can still use our features, but use your own Gamma account. The advantage to that, when you have your own Gamma account, the generations show up in your account, so you can actually go in and edit those. You can go in and change images. You can go in and add your own images. There's a lot more you can do in Gamma than is available through an API, but you don't have to have a Gamma account to do it. And they're letting us do more and more stuff with APIs. For example, upcoming headshots are going to be easy to add via API. Specific images, so we can make, property specific flyers. So as Gamma evolves, we're going to evolve and make more available here for you as well. And that's another reason to join that Slack channel, because we are going to have frequent updates. I'm in a Slack channel for the Gamma API, and as they update and they give us new capabilities, we're going to bring that to everybody here and on the other platforms as well. So that's kind of a quick run through. And just to address, let's see, landing pages. This is where you get your link for your landing page. Now you build it in your profile. That's where all the sections are going to be added. It's basically going to look very similar to this. It's going to have an agent section over here with your headshot, with your data, or with your contact information in the upper right-hand corner. So that's very clearly displayed. It'll have your logo over here instead of the Agent Impact Group. And then it'll have similar sections and you'll be able to add your own. But we'll provide an onboarding video to show everybody how to do that. To address anybody having problems, if you come to agentimpactgroup.net and you click agent login, you should be able to create an account. Let's see.
Yeah, hey Doug, when I tried it, because I haven't signed up yet, this is Jackie.
Yep.
It does allow you to log in, but there's nowhere like if I haven't already created an account to create the account. That's what we're
Yeah, I
missing. Like
think
I'm
actually
not sure if
what's,
there's a sign up link or something.
yeah, there is. I think I just noticed what's going on. This sign-in link, there should be a, don't have an account,
Yeah.
sign in. Originally, this is where the journey started, and then we just added this last page. So I think that's where the confusion is. Yeah. So we kind of rearranged it a little bit. I'll get that fixed in the next few minutes. And then if
Which
anybody's still having
which browser are you
trouble,
using to create the account?
excuse me, go ahead.
No,
What?
which browser you're using? Is it Chrome or Edge or
This one is
Safari?
Safari.
So that also depends. So when people are creating account.
Okay, yeah, I'm pretty much, I have Chrome, but I usually open it just on Safari. But I'll make that more clear for sure. So you'll be able to do that. If anybody can join the Slack group, if you're still having trouble by the end of the day, just let me know. We will get that addressed. The developers have been working around the clock to get this released. Again, y'all are the first people to see this, even before Clique Offers has, before any other group has. So y'all will also be the first ones to know when new features are released and when some of this new content is available. Again, I'll post some onboarding videos. We're gonna have a general one, you know, how to create an account, and then we'll have separate ones for Gamma. We'll have separate ones for there's other videos we have that go into each program, you know, how those work.
Do you have any program for investors? Because I'm not the realtor, but I'm the investor. We do
So
the deals.
we have some, and again, so you know, I'm talking about updates that we have on our platform. We do have new programs that are being rolled out by some people we work with. Now, we always kind of vet these programs. I mean, there's a few programs that have wanted to be on the platform that we've kind of dug into, and they're either predatory or more bait and switch, or you know, just really terrible service. And so we try to we try not to work with them. There are some reputable new programs that are coming out. Some of those are going to be geared more towards investors. Now, for the investor versions, you know, there's going to be like access to DSCR loans, if anybody's familiar with those. And every time we have, you know, kind of a new topic, we are going to, you know, have, you know, meetings on this, education on this. So we'll frequently have onboarding and kind of general overview, and believe me, it'll be a little more organized than you know what we've seen today, as we're getting more of this stuff built out and comfortable with it. But like DSCR loans, those are going to be available for easy access. There's some companies, and I hesitate to talk about them because so many people have bad experiences with some of these companies that go in and they do the contracting work and they do, you know, the repairs and you don't pay at closing. There's some companies that are doing that where they'll basically partner up with you on an investment. Again, we've seen bad experiences with some of those. We have a really good option that we're vetting right now that I think might work. You know, I mentioned some of these companies that do the work and they don't pay at closing. The versions we offer, they can refer you to contractors, but you don't have to use their contractors. So it's not like Revive or Curbio, because I've recognized in some of those fix and list programs, one of the main points of friction is the contractors that you're forced to use. The programs that we have from Elevate, which is HomeSnap, or excuse me, any of the others, they're basically providing funding. And you can use your own contractor. You know, they want to make sure it's somebody licensed. They're going to want to approve that contractor, and they can refer you to somebody, but you're also not locked into that. So hopefully that eliminates that friction point that I've seen in some of those programs. And again, we can go through those options in more detail and answer any questions anybody has. Anything else? I know I haven't touched in great detail on the programs. More than happy to, but also we can do that in the Slack groups, or anybody wants to send me a message. This phone that goes to me, this email that'll go to me too. Y'all feel free to reach out. Highly suggest if anybody's calling me, you might want to text first. But just always here to help. And my partner Scott Martineau, he's actually meeting. He's in Detroit meeting with a big mortgage company up there. I can't remember the name of it, UHM, whatever it is. And usually he's around too, but he's the buy before you sell expert. He knows all about those programs, the DTI drops, the equity advance. Real quick, I mentioned, those are the similar things that Homelight and Knock offer. One big difference is those companies charge based on the price of the home. The companies that we're working with charge on the equity they're providing, or maybe even on the backup offer they're providing for the DTI drop. So just that alone is just a huge savings, and that's why these options kind of work out a lot better. And we dive more into that, when we have these group chats. A buy before you sell offer. This option here where they're getting an equity advance, they're going to net 761,000 on this compared to a straight listing of 776,000. That's what, $15,000 difference. And I know, at least in my market, I'm an agent too. If I make a non-contingent offer, a lot of times I can get a lot more than $15,000 off. So, for a cost of that program, a lot of times I can scrape that back and actually, cover the cost, more than cover the cost, and have a non-contingent offer, more likely to be accepted. The Cash Offer Pro, this is a cash offer combined with making repairs to the house to improve the value. So while this cash offer net is, it's not as low as an open door net, because this is a structured cash offer. It's definitely, it gets a lot closer to, what you normally get with retail. If, there's upgrades or something they can do, homeowner doesn't have to pay for it. It comes out of the equity, and it's just another great option for them. Again, we can go through all these programs and have dedicated trainings and all these, dedicated trainings on the Gamma for anybody who subscribes to that. We're going to provide more examples of the content that gets provided. I live in a town called Woodstock, Georgia. There's all kinds of events. And I know on my social media, if I post, upcoming events, in Woodstock, or upcoming events in Canton, another nearby city, or Atlanta, and I'm pulling data, real time, live data, accurate data, not, ChatGPT is a great source, but we're doing this instantly, creating a presentation, it posts on my social media, and that sort of kind of lifestyle stuff gets a lot of engagement. And then I kind of mix it in with some, market stuff, or, cash offer things, or get a buy before you sell. So it's kind of a mixture of content. So we're not just always hammering them over their head with real estate. Some of it's more community engagement, just building that brand. But the beauty of it is, with that Gamma upgrade, it's just, you don't have to go into Canva, design it, post it. It's going to be original. It's going to be posted, and it's going to be, have links to you. Instagram's a little harder because they don't include links, but Gamma can generate QR codes. That's not available through the API yet, but that is coming soon. And again, that's why the Slack channel is going to be so helpful, because as we get new capabilities, we will let you know as well.
So Doug, a couple of questions. Specifically, the first one that I want to address is, somebody asked how much it costs, and somebody else asked how many do you get for the $10 a month? So can you kind of just go over at what place do you add the $10 a month? Is that service for? Because the platform itself to start with is free, right? It's just when you upgrade, you get the $10 a month. And what do they get for that?
So first of all, the platform itself, you log in, you create your account, you instantly get these options. You get the instant seller valuations, that come from the ABM. You can, get all these options. You get, this net sheet that is created for you, that so many people, use currently for the presentations. and then just, there it is. You get this bio link, which is again like a link tree. I mean, you can add 20 different things on here. You know, I know some brokerages have a lot of benefits. I mean, this is where I show my value. You know, I use this in an email signature for my real estate business. You know, I talk about my professional photography, my staging, you know, whatever I think makes me look good. So you get that, you get the net sheet, you get your landing page, which is really more like a full website. That's what really looks like the Agent Impact Group website. So all of that is included. It integrates into your CRM. You know, nothing changes there. I mean, that's, you know, free. When you get into the Gamma stuff, that's where it's $10 a month. That's where you can, you know, generate these listing presentations. Now, you know, one thing about the listing presentations, that's kind of where that little blurb, if you have an agent blurb, it'll show up there. If you have reviews, it'll show up there. We're also going to use some of the information from our APIs to be included. Like, this is what your market looks like right now. You know, how long houses are selling, the average price of the sale. We're going to use some content like, and you can see the examples in the Gamma page where it shows this. These are some of the features of your community we're going to use to market your home. So just make a really nice looking, robust, shareable via link listing presentation, or a seller options presentation, or a contract presentation. This area right here is where you're going to be able to generate these one-off materials, eventually flyers, eventually websites, things that are tied into this property. On the other page, the Gamma page in here, this is where you're going to basically manage your social media post and that content. Like Debbie mentioned, so for the Gamma subscription, all things AI, it's token based. There's always a cost. I mean, AI is cheap, but there is a cost. For this though, it's only $10 a month. And, you know, I know that I've looked at, you know, if you have some HomeBot type features, you have some social media, automated posting features, you know, some content building features. I mean, the instant options, instant AVMs, there's a lot of different platforms that provide this stuff, but it's probably over $300 a month to have subscriptions to all these things. So, you know, $10 a month, that's, you know, probably extremely reasonable, but that's one of the promises of AI to make things cheaper. Now that does 50 generations per month. Now, a generation is not a page. A generation is a listing presentation. You know, that might be 9 pages. A generation is a social media carousel that might be, you know, 5 slides. Each one of those is 1 generation. So 50 is a pretty good amount. As AI gets cheaper and as we kind of dial in our usage, we can increase that for sure. If you run out of generations though, like if you just upload a CSV file and you want to, you know, send something out to a bunch of leads, it's only 20 cents additional per generation. So again, it's just super cheap. I mean, a listing presentation for, you know, 20 cents, obviously shareable. That's, you know, we're not trying to make such incredible overhead over that. I mean, it's definitely more than cost, but there's cost associated with all this too. Cancel at any time. There's no, you know, ongoing subscription required. We probably, as we go on, will introduce different levels. And then I do know that some of the other APIs we're building out, they're not Gamma related. They're more related to programs like HeyGen and 11 Labs. Those programs are where you can create an avatar and also mimic your own voice. And then we can use all this data that we're pulling from our APIs to create videos or even, you know, narrate some of these presentations. That I would say is probably about a month off, but you know, that might be another level. Some people might want that, some people might not, but it would probably be kind of on the same level as this. What we're trying to do is take tools like Gamma, HeyGen, 11 Labs, anything that's out there, and almost act like an overlay that makes it real estate specific. I mean, anybody can go into Gamma and anybody can, you know, create a Gamma account and get these things. And I think a Gamma Pro account is maybe $20 a month. But, you know, by pulling in all these APIs, by having some preset prompts that are customizable per property, we're hoping to add a lot of value to your content and your presentations, and making agents comfortable discussing these options and just looking really good with it. You know, I know in my real estate offices, I can buy some really fancy listing presentations. You know, they have a cost to them. They take time if I want to customize them. I mean, these are instant. I mean, I can treat every lead, no matter, you know, how serious I think they are, or you know, everybody gets treated the same. Everybody gets a professional looking presentation. Everybody gets all the data, and it's as an agent, kind of that's how we're building this. What's the real value here? What's the real engagement? What's the real pain point for agents? A new program every day, a new purpose every day, something you're supposed to be an expert in that you might use once every other month. You know, that's what we're here to try to make that easy for you to do and actually get business. I know in my market, we have an agent, Mark Spain. He has his guaranteed offer campaigns that he has a billboard on every, well, probably 12 on every highway. And he, you know, sponsors the sports teams, and he sponsors the radio stations, and I think he even sponsors the weather. But his simple message just gets him numerous leads. A lot of these programs, you might see anywhere from 2% of the people use a cash offer to 10% of the people use a buy before you sell offer. But it's to make you the first point of contact, to make you have the information, so they're seeking it from you, and not going to some of these other sources and getting, you know, pushed off to you know, a referral program. I know Open Door will, you know, refer out to their agents. We want agents to be the source. We want y'all to be comfortable. We want to provide the education. We're not taking a not naming names. I mean, I know there's aggregation platforms out there for cash offers that seem more of a bait and switch kind of style. Certainly, we want you to put these offers out there and generate leads with them, but not by a bait and switch. We want you to have a real solution backing it up. So if they choose to go that route, you know, it's real. So you can be confident about it, and you can work with reputable companies that can actually get some of these things done. Any of these options, I'll go back to this real quick. Any of the options that we have can be used basically at any time within the transaction. Well, at least within 60 days. So you can get one of these cash offers, and it can be a plan A for somebody, or it can be a plan B. It doesn't have to be immediate, or they lose it. You can put the house on the market for a little while, see how it goes. And if the listing's getting stale, okay, well, let's try this option. If you've got a sale that's supposed to close and it's contingent on something closing, all of a sudden that deal falls apart, you can use one of these buy before you sell options. When you go to next steps and you hit proceed, it pulls up an account manager's information for that offer, so you can reach out to them. They reach out to you pretty quick. The cash offer ones have one rep. The buy before you sell, now that does go to a lender. You can work with any lender you want. We're more than happy to connect them to the programs. But for the buy before you sell options, you definitely do want to work with a lender who knows what they're doing. These are probably going, I think they're going to Canopy Mortgage right now. But if you have a lender that's interested, and I know there's lenders in this group, we would love to hook you up with these suppliers and get you set up so you can get some of these as well. Lenders love to get these because, you know, that they, like agents, they want to be the first point of contact. They want to have that conversation, and they want to, you know, find out what option really is the best for the client.
Excellent. All right, Doug. So we have 8 minutes left. I have one breakout room that's set up for 8 minutes.
Sure.
So we're gonna hop into those breakout rooms, and we'll see you guys all back here in 8 minutes. All right, everybody go to your room.